Hello, you're watching the English News Bulletin on QPVN channel. I'm Chung Nguyen, and now let me keep you up to date with the headlines. Reforming mindset for a streamlined government structure. Vietnam opens the 4th P4G summit in Hanoi. Cooperation for peaceful borderline. On April the 16th, the Politburo and the Secretariat convened a national conference to implement the resolution of the 11th plenum of the 13th Party Central Committee. Attending the conference were General Secretary To Lâm, President Lương Cường, Prime Minister Phạm Minh Chính, National Assembly Chairman Trần Thanh Mẫn, Permanent Secretary of the Secretariat Trần Cẩm Tú, former leaders of the party and state, leaders of central ministries, agencies, and mass organizations, key provincial, district, and commune level officials across all 63 provinces and cities. At the conference, Prime Minister Phạm Minh Chính presented a report on key draft documents for the 14th Party Congress. His presentation focused on new highlights in the summary of theoretical and practical issues from 40 years of socialist-oriented reform in Vietnam, new points in the draft report on party building and enforcement of the party charter, new developments in the draft political report, and highlights from the draft 5-year review of the 2021-2030 socio-economic development strategy and the development direction for 2026-2030. National Assembly Chairman Trần Thanh Mẫn presented a report on proposed constitutional and legal amendments and the orientation for the elections of the 16th National Assembly and People's Councils at all levels for the 2026-2031 term. Head of the Party Central Committee's Organization Commission, Lê Minh Hưng, discussed plans to further restructure and streamline the government apparatus to ensure efficiency and effectiveness. He also addressed updates to party charter enforcement regulations and revisions of the 13th Politburo on the upcoming party congresses for the 2025-2030 term. In his speech, General Secretary To Lâm stressed that post-restructuring local governments must be leaner yet operate more effectively, stay close to the people, and meet the demands of modern governance and the country's goals for rapid and sustainable development. He called on all party committees and organizations to focus on developing new growth models and strategic visions for newly merged administrative units. With unity and determination, these efforts will lay a solid foundation for the 14th Party Congress and help propel the nation into a new era of prosperity. The 4th Summit of the Partnering for Green Growth and the Global Goals 2030 officially opened on April the 16th in Hanoi under the theme Transforming for a Sustainable Green Future, People-Centered Approach. The opening ceremony saw the presence of General Secretary To Lâm, Prime Minister Phạm Minh Chính, United Nations Deputy Secretary General Amina Mohamed, along with more than 1,000 delegates from over 40 countries and international organizations. In his address, Prime Minister Phạm Minh Chính reaffirmed Vietnam's commitment to sustainable development and outlined strategic orientations to guide future global cooperation on green transformation. He emphasized the importance of fostering a green development mindset centered on scientific and technological advancement, innovation, and digital transformation as essential drivers of green growth. He called for building a responsible green community where sustainability becomes a shared responsibility, an integral part of all aspects of development. The Prime Minister also underscored the need to enhance international cooperation with an emphasis on inclusive, multi-stakeholder partnerships that can scale up green initiatives and deliver lasting impact. Prime Minister Phạm Minh Chính expressed hope that P4G would continue to build on its strengths and potential, transforming into a true green incubator and a global laboratory for sustainable solutions. He encouraged all participants to approach the challenges ahead with deep thinking, bold actions, long-term vision, and broad perspective. On the afternoon of April the 16th in Hanoi, President Lương Cường met 100 outstanding examples honored at the Kind Deeds program of the Vietnam television on the occasion of its 10th anniversary of broadcasting. President Lương Cường expressed his delight to meet people who have used the kindness, sharing, and warm hearts to make life more meaningful. He affirmed that the party and state always care for those with meritorious services and those with disabilities and disadvantaged circumstances, making sure that no one is left behind. The joint efforts of figures from the Kind Deeds program in helping those needy circumstances are of great significance to realizing the humane policies of the party and state. The state president called for a wider expansion of models of sharing with and helping the community, thereby creating positive energy and spreading love throughout society. Coming up next, 9th Vietnam-China Border Defense Friendship Exchange successfully held. Cooperation for peaceful borderline. Following its update on activities within the framework of the 9th Vietnam-China Border Defense Friendship Exchange. This morning, the exchange activities continued in Lạng Sơn province, including the welcome ceremony for the high-ranking delegation of the Chinese military, friendship tree planting, visit to Đồng Đăng Primary School, and ribbon-cutting ceremony to inaugurate the multifunction building of the school. Visits to the border guard station at Hữu Nghị International Border Gate and the logistic park of Theo Group in Lạng Sơn. The two defense ministers of Vietnam and China also held talks and witnessed the signing of cooperation papers. The 9th Vietnam-China Border Defense Friendship Exchange took place from April the 16th to the 17th in Quang Sĩ Thuong Autonomous Region of China and Lạng Sơn Province of Vietnam, under the co-chair of the two ministers of defense of Vietnam and China. More details about 9th Vietnam-China Border Defense Friendship Exchange will continue to be updated on our next news bulletins. Earlier on April the 16th, after the welcoming ceremony for the delegation of the Vietnamese Ministry of National Defense at Yu Yuan Border Gate, Vietnamese Minister of National Defense Phan Văn Giang and his Chinese counterpart Dong Jun visited the border guard company at Yu Yuan Border Gate and toured the Smart Border Gate at Yu Yuan Border Gate. Over the years, under the care and attention from the local party committees and authorities on both sides of the borderline, the relationship between the border protection forces has been increasingly developing. The two sides have seriously and responsibly implemented legal documents on the border between Vietnam and China, the Border Cooperation Agreement between the two ministries of national defense, the Memorandum of Understanding, and bilateral talks. They've made efforts to enhance the effectiveness of border management and protection, immigration control, and crime prevention and control. At the border gate, the two ministers witnessed online the 38th Joint Naval Patrol Session in the Gulf of Tonkin. The two ministers took photos with officers and soldiers of the company and attended the tree planting ceremony. During the Smart Border Gate in Yu Yuan Border Gate, the two ministers were introduced in detail to this model. In details, the Smart Border Gate is built on a dedicated freight line and operated by satellite positioning technology and 5G, allowing automatic lifting equipment and unmanned container transportation, equipped with the container inspection system and a smart screening system based on a smart commanding and coordination platform for the interactive connection of cross-border logistics information between China and Vietnam. The system operates around the clock in all weather conditions without human operators and can connect from Bắc Giang, Bắc Ninh of Vietnam to Nam Ninh of China within 2 hours, thus further promoting the security and stability of the China-ASEAN cross-border supply chain. As part of the ongoing activities within the Vietnam-China Border Defense Friendship Exchange Program, the ministers of national defense from both countries visited Primary School No. 4 in Pinxiang City, Guangxi, China. During his remarks at Primary School No. 4 in Pinxiang, Dương Xuân Huynh, permanent vice chairman of Lạng Sơn province, emphasized that the Vietnam-China Border Defense Friendship Exchange has helped deepen ties between border communities. He noted that this cooperation fosters a peaceful and friendly border, enabling students to learn, grow, and contribute to their countries. General Phan Van Giang of Vietnam and Sing Lieutenant General Dong Thuong of China presented meaningful gifts to the school, hoping it will continue to inspire students to contribute to a prosperous China. They also expressed confidence that the young generation will help strengthen the traditional friendship and serve as ambassadors of Vietnam-China solidarity and cooperation. Also on April the 16th, the two ministers and delegation from the Ministries of National Defense of Vietnam and China visited Du Liang Village, Ninh Minh District, located in the heart of the Hoa Shan Scenic Area, a cultural heritage site. Du Liang has 641 households and 2,662 residents. Du Liang is the first administrative village in Ninh Minh District to achieve a collective economy exceeding 1 million yuan, with average farmer income reaching 23,000 yuan. The village has set up a center to process and display agricultural and forestry products, featuring over 100 local specialties from 13 villages. Its successful Hoa Shan goods brand has helped raise incomes for more than 590 previously impoverished households. Impressed by the development and prosperous, happy life in Du Liang, the ministers expressed hope that people along the Vietnam-China border will continue to engage in exchanges and learning, replicating such model villages across the region to promote social-economic development and border stability. After the visit, Chinese Minister of National Defense Dong Thuong hosted a banquet.
2
days ago, Vietnamese Defense Minister and I witnessed General Secretary Xi Jinping's historic state visit to Vietnam. Top leaders of our parties and states discussed building a China-Vietnam community with a shared future, setting strategic direction for our militaries. We reunited at Friendship Pass to co-host the 9th Border Defense Friendship Exchange, an important activity fulfilling key common understandings between our parties and states. It reflects deepening military cooperation and ever-growing traditional friendship. On April the 16th, the Vietnamese delegation led by General Phan Van Giang returned home, concluding a successful exchange in China. On April the 17th, the Vietnam-China Border Defense Friendship Exchange continued in Vietnam. Vietnam is bracing for a significant travel surge as the country marks a 5-day public holiday from August the 27th to May the 1st, commemorating Reunification Day and International Labor Day. Millions are expected to travel across the country for vacations or to visit family, prompting a nationwide transportation effort to ensure safe and smooth journeys. Aviation is expected to bear the brunt of the travel demand, particularly on routes to and from major tourist destinations such as Ho Chi Minh City, Cam Ranh, and Phu Quoc, where tickets are reportedly selling out fast. In response, the Civil Aviation Authority of Vietnam has instructed major carriers, including Vietnam Airlines and VietJet, to ramp up operations. Airlines have been asked to increase flight frequencies, especially during off-peak and nighttime hours, and to monitor booking data in real time to adjust capacity on high-demand routes. Vietnam Railways is also stepping up efforts to accommodate holiday travelers. In addition to its regular schedule, the operator has added 37 extra trains to meet growing demand. A highlight of this year's operations is the launch of the Reunification Train, a commemorative service running on April the 29th to mark the 50th anniversary of the liberation of the South and the national reunification. The specially designed train pays tribute to the country's journey toward reunification. Seats for peak travel days are almost fully booked, though tickets remain available for other days across all routes. We're also offering a 4% fare discount for war veterans and people with meritorious services to the nation. Meanwhile, Hanoi's major bus terminals are bracing for an influx of passengers, with hundreds of standby buses added to the schedule. We expect a 300 to 350% increase in passenger volume compared to normal days. In response, we've added 700 extra trips. Transport firms have also ensured that both vehicles and drivers are fully prepared to serve passengers efficiently. Terminals are implementing strict safety checks on vehicles and drivers before each departure. Efforts are also underway to enforce regulated ticket prices and prevent overcrowding, while giving more passengers, including low-income and special needs groups, an opportunity to travel during the holiday. And that's all for now. Remember, you can always watch the news again at qpvn.vn. Now, thank you for watching and hope to see you next time.